The camera system is fantastic. It has very good clarity and resolution. I can see around the vehicle accurately. It gives me front views, rear views. So it gives me certainty. Of course, I'm looking out the window, but it gives me certainty as far as what's, immediately around the vehicle. And it lowers the rear shade too when I put it in reverse temporarily, and it'll go right back up once you start driving. Turn signal indicator, a little beeping noise comes from the headrest, which is pretty interesting. So this is probably, it's hard to say the best, but it feels like right now that this is the best, most comfortable vehicle as far as overall experience that I've driven, I think. The G90 was a similar type thing, but this just brings it to a new level. It has an acceleration that is, it kind of mimics a little bit like an electric car, where it has that really punchy feel, but also it has that acceleration from the engine. You have a little bit of engine noise there and shifting gears and all that. So if you just drive it, you wouldn't notice that it's actually using a hybrid system to propel you forward. You just think it's a really powerful car. It doesn't have the engine is constantly running, and it's not like cycling back and forth like a Prius or something, where sometimes it's on electric, sometimes it's on gas. And some people refer to it as a mild hybrid system, to where it's not actually by itself using the hybrid system to propel the vehicle. It's just amplifying the gas engine. So you can hear the engine when you really floor it, when you really accelerate fast. But it's usually pretty quiet, especially at idle. And sometimes it's like, man, is the engine running? I could barely hear it. And we're just kind of cruising along, and we're going really slow because there's a slowpoke in front of me. But even at highway speeds, it's just surprisingly quiet and smooth and comfortable. The lane keep assist system does a good job. It's not really moving around so much. It doesn't fight with you while you're holding the steering wheel. It actually has a grip sensor too, so it can tell if you're holding the steering wheel. You don't actually have to, like some vehicles, if you're just on a straight road and you're not moving the steering wheel much, it just doesn't think you're holding the steering wheel. But this one just has a grip sensor, so it already can tell that you're holding it. So it has that suspension system, the air suspension system. But when you accelerate, it does tilt back, and it kind of has like this squat in the back. It doesn't keep it level when you accelerate in the same way you would think. But it quickly levels off once you start driving. Once you start going at a consistent speed. And that for the four-wheel steering is unbelievable. This is kind of more of a straighter road, but when you're just kind of whirling around in a parking lot or pulling out of a driveway, or even at high speeds cornering, even like this, you can kind of a little bit feel it. At first I was like, what is that feeling? You know, it just kind of felt a little bit different, like I was connected in a way that was pretty unique feeling. And when I was driving, I was like, wow, that is amazing. And then when I looked into it, it's like, wow, this vehicle actually has rear steering. And it wasn't immediately obvious. It just felt like it was so connected to the road and had really good, you know, like turning radius and stuff like that. I didn't really feel like the back end was sliding around or anything like that. It just felt really connected. So it works really well, and it's an electric system to where it can be very precise, and it can adjust, and under certain conditions it can disable as well. So that four-wheel steering is just phenomenal. It's really, really interesting when you're driving. And then what's really interesting is that the way four-wheel steering works is at very low speeds, it turns the rear wheels at the opposite direction as the front wheels, so you get better turning radius. But at high speeds, it actually turns the rear wheels in the same exact direction as the front wheels, which was a little surprising to me, but after I thought about it, it made sense as I was driving. And it gives you that connected feel. Like, you really feel like you're connected to the road. You don't feel like you're going to fishtail or anything like that, because you have that control in the back as well as the front. So really implemented well, and also just the whole four-wheel steering is amazing technology. At 75 miles per hour, we have about, the RPMs are at 1.7, so 1700 RPMs at 75 miles per hour. And the thing about this vehicle is that you can drive 75 miles an hour on the highway, and it feels like you're driving 45. I mean, it's just as smooth and comfortable and easy to drive, and relatively quiet considering your speeds. At this, 75, it's very comfortable. It's definitely a great highway vehicle. There's a little bit of wind noise at highway speeds, but once you start playing the radio, it drowns right out. It has a really nice sound system.